Survivor Specialist Phil and Will are back with our Survivor Millennials versus Gen X finale predictions episode. This should be fun. We're going to break down every possible final three here. We're going to give you who we think would vote for who would win in each final three scenario.
Oh, every possible final three we're going to break down? I mean, I know we usually do that, but are we really giving, Brett
Well, how hard is it to break down the Brett, Ken, Hannah final three? That's a very simple one to break down. It's going to take us 2 seconds. So, yes, we will break down pretty much. I think we're going to break them down, all of them. It's not going to be that hard.
Wow, your voice sounds miserable.
I'm awful, by the way. I have a cold. Mixed that with yelling last night at Will, and here I am. I got no voice. Nothing. So sorry you have to listen to this, but
yeah,
we'll let Will do most of the talking. It just to be a little.
I don't know what's worse, me talking more than I usually do, or that awful voice of yours. I don't know. Usually this is one of my favorite podcasts, but this quickly could go downhill. Anyway, we'll get started here. We'll rank the players too, who we think's going to win. I still sticking with Jay. Had him preseason. Can't wait to see him pull it out. This is exciting because this is like last year it was Michelle or Aubrey, and now it's pretty much David or Jay. But I mean, Adam's right there. Hannah's certainly in the mix. So we do have at least 4 people that could win. Like last year it was just Aubrey or Michelle. So this is, 4 people. This is the most we've ever had when covering a season. So this should be a lot of fun.
It doesn't help. Last year we only had 4 people in the finale.
Exactly. Who was that? We had Ty,
Sydney, Ty,
and then Sydney.
Michelle,
Yeah.
That's it. So this should be a little more fun.
That was a fun finale though. I mean, that was great. Michelle upset really, really was awesome. Any of these 4 that can win would be pretty satisfying. So yeah, we'll get into this. If you haven't checked out our Kickstarter campaign, we're trying to get on iTunes. That's our goal for season 34. Get on iTunes. We're actually pretty close to hitting our goal of $500. So thank you to everybody. We'll read names out later. Just give everybody a shout out. We actually have Adam Klein on this season donated, and he'll be doing the Eliminator game with us where, you pick one person each week to not go home. You can't pick the same person twice. The person you pick goes home, you're done. And so there'll kind of be a mini game, and I think there's like 3 or 4 people who have signed up for that. So there's like 6 spots left. We're only letting 10 people do it. So it'll be Phil, Will, and then 10 more spots. So if you want to play the Eliminator game with Adam, there's your chance. It's pretty cool. So, I just wanted to get the Kickstarter mention. And, anything else before we just get into this?
No. It's also for a website, guys. We're trying to put up a website. I know we'll keep saying iTunes, but we want to get like a website that has like all of our stuff throughout the season with the fantasy games and everything. Just want to reiterate that.
Because I don't know
it'd be cool so you guys know where you're at. Because I think this is our first prop bet and boot list update since what, like 4 weeks ago? But
no,
we'll have it there every week now.
I updated the boot list like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. But now we'll have it updated every week.
Yeah, and hopefully be automatic. Well, I don't really know how to build a website, and I don't think you do either, Phil. So yeah, definitely.
No, I do.
Oh, you do? Okay, cool.
I do.
Nice. Why do we need money then?
You have to get the domain name and all that fun stuff. It's cheap, but whatever.
Okay. It's all in there, all the information there. Okay, let's get into this here. Do you want to rank like the chances of winning? I guess that could be fun to do. I have Brett actually I have Ken at, I don't know. Brett and Ken aren't winning. So it's like, I don't know. I could put them 5-6. I could put them, they're tied for 5th. They're tied for 6th. I don't know. Do you think either of those has any chance of winning?
The funny thing is, if Brett makes the actual final 3, he actually has a chance to win just because he's got like Chris and Sunday over there, and he's got Zeke over there, and like he could have like Adam, who he's been a little tight with over there. I don't think Adam would ever vote for Chris, but I'm just throwing this out there. Or for Brett.
Like if Jay's on the jury, Jay and Brett, have been together since Ikabula, so it's definitely true that if Brett gets there. So I guess I would go Ken at 6 just because I do think Ken will get there, and I think he's a GOAT. He's a nice guy. He's not going to win this game. Talked about Ken a lot, and I don't think people really respect him as much as the fans respect him. So I'll go Ken at 6, Brett at 5. I hate to do this, but I got to put Adam at 4. I wish he had a better chance heading into this episode. If he pulls off the win,
he has a worse chance than Hannah.
I do.
Wow,
I think
I'm
Hannah is
actually
more
shocked by that.
it's more like looking at the edit than it is anything else. Like, and position wise, I guess too. Like Hannah's tighter with David and Ken. Adam's kind of always been the fourth in that alliance. I think Adam's perceived as a much bigger threat than Hannah. Everyone has always said Adam's playing so hard. Adam's playing so hard. If he gets to the end, he will have that argument, and everyone won't. Like, there's some people, and there's a secret scene with Hannah, and she's like, I keep thinking about my final tribal council speech, and what have I done? And I'm always thinking about the game and how to articulate that. And she's like, but everyone thinks this way, and it's hard for people to believe that you've done all these moves and thought everything through. Adam will not have a problem selling that if he gets the final tribal council. Everybody knows he's playing so hard. So I think Adam has a pretty good chance to get, booted before final tribal council. And then based on editing too, Hannah has really gotten almost no negativity the entire season, like none. The only thing was when she had her little anxiety attack, but they can't not show that. And it wasn't that negative. So that's why I got Hannah above Adam.
I just don't know who Hannah beats. That's why I have Hannah at 4. I would say she has the 4th best chance. I'd say Adam has the 3rd best. Then David, then Jay. I actually think Jay has the best chance. We were talking about this a little bit during the week. How like Jay has just been played up like a lot. And we saw that whole secret scene of him talking about how he bonded with Adam and all of that. And I know we don't put that much emphasis on secret scenes, but Jay, like, they showed most of that. Like, they're showing a lot of him with these emotional moments and like how he wants to take Adam to the end and like he wants to sit there and all this. And, like, he's really grown.
Yeah, that was the most interesting part of this whole thing was that Jay said, I want to go to the end with Adam. And then even in the hammock, it was kind of quick, but he's like, it's me and you to the end. And I didn't, when I first saw that, think, oh, that's like a final 3 thing. I don't know what I thought. It didn't register with me because there was so much other stuff going on. But I mean, that's real. I mean, Jay wants to go with Adam. I think Jay can beat Adam. Where I see Hannah pulling off a win would be with Ken, Adam, and Hannah final 3 is where I think Hannah could possibly pull some votes. Is this the final 3 you want to kick it off with? I mean, I'll go. I got Jay number 1, David number 2, Hannah 3. So we're kind of done.
I'm interested, before we break this down, what do you actually predict the order of finish to be? Because that's always fun. Let's 6 through 1. What do you predict this order of finish to be?
Oh, man. Okay. I'm going to go with Brett at 6. It's very tough to know how this will all shake out. I don't know if there's going to be idols in play. And it's honestly, I think then we're going to have, it's going to be David at 5. It's going to be Adam or David at 5, and then Adam or David at 4. I don't know which order. And then Jay's going to win the final immunity, and then he's going to win. It's going to be Hannah, Ken, and Jay in the final 3. But that's my prediction. That's kind of what I want to happen too. I'm not very confident about this order. I don't know. What's your order?
I have no idea what I want. It's terrible. I was just wondering if you had any type of idea, because I really could see this being Jay could be the first one to go, Jay could win. David could be the first one to go, David could win. Adam could be the first one to go, Adam could win. Brett, I don't know why he would be the first one to go. But I don't know why he gets 6
exactly.
points.
You're right. I mean, unless people are like, wait, we got to get Sunday out because she's a GOAT. Maybe people start thinking like that for Brett. I don't know. Brett is also, I think people know he's likable. So he might be taken out. It might be one of those things like in Cambodia where all of a sudden Kelly Wigglesworth was this huge threat. And that's why they got rid of her in the merge. And we were sitting there watching that whole season like, what? She's a threat? She hasn't done anything. People might perceive Brett as like one of the bigger social threats out there and say he needs to go. I worry for Adam's social game. And I'm worried that, we're not seeing, exactly how, I don't know. We didn't get much positivity from other cast members about Adam. All we're getting is that he's playing hard. And then we were told that he was a Bad Alliance member by Zeke and by Hannah around the merge. And then Brett and Sunday come up to Adam last episode and said, hey, we're all equal here. And from, a fan watching the show and seeing the story unfolded so far, it's like Adam should be a bigger threat than Will. And Brett and Sunday were sitting there telling Adam that Will's a bigger threat than him and that Will, Jay, and David are the big threats, while Adam, Brett, and Sunday are kind of all on the same level. And that to me did not seem right. But if that's how they're thinking, that might be how other survivors are thinking. So I think if Hannah gets there against Adam, it really could be close.
All right, well, let's do this then. Let's start with Hannah. You want to start with Hannah, Ken, and Adam?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting one where we don't have David or Jay. Okay. So again, I think we will have David or Jay in the final three, but let's kick it off with this one.
Let's run down it then. Let's start with Michelle.
Okay. Michelle goes with Hannah.
Why do you think Michelle goes with Hannah? Because I'm just curious why you would think she goes Hannah here.
I think because they had, I think, a pretty good relationship out there on the original Millennials tribe. At the merge, obviously, things didn't work out for Michelle. And I think maybe it was an exit interview where Michelle felt kind of betrayed by Hannah, so maybe she wouldn't vote. But I don't know. I think it's hard with Michelle. I never really had a good read on Michelle. Do you think she's the type of person to be bitter? Is she going to vote?
I don't think so.
Bitter?
I don't
think so.
If
yeah,
you watch Ponderosa, she seems completely fine with everything that's happened in the game. And I agree with you. The only person on this entire there's two people she made relationships with left in the game, and that's Jay and Hannah. If either of them are there, you got to think she's going to vote for them. She hasn't made her. We didn't see her make a relationship with Adam, although I do think Adam gets the vote if he's up against the three Gen Xers, because she literally, like, the only one she talked to was David, and David was ready to vote her out right away. So I don't know. I feel like she's got to go millennial.
Yeah, I think she'll definitely go millennial if there's a millennial there, which we think there will be. Yeah, so I'd
saying Hannah.
I'd say Hannah, right? Don't you would say Hannah too, right?
Yeah, that works.
I mean, what if Adam though? You think Adam? Well, how about this? Is Adam going to mention his mom at Final Tribal Council?
I don't think so. He told Jay not to tell anybody else on the island. I don't think Adam's going to. I don't think he's using this. I don't think he wants to use his mother as a strategy.
I think
yeah. You know what I mean? I don't think he wants to use
it. But
it
is so compelling though. Like, man, like I need $1 million for hospital bills and like surgeries and treatment and like all that stuff. It makes a lot of sense, and it could probably, I don't know. That would be such a tough decision. I honestly don't know what I'd do, and I'm very curious. I mean, that's crazy position to be in. So yeah, I mean, and Michelle, I don't think would flip her vote from Hannah for that sole reason. Maybe she would. All right, let's move down to Taylor. Taylor would not vote Adam.
No.
And Taylor had no relationship with Ken. They had a little bit.
I would say he votes Ken.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, we didn't see much with Hannah. Because I always think Hannah was kind of, she wasn't like a cool kid, but they got along. Like, she was a friendly nerd, She
was, but I feel like Taylor bonded with Ken at that beach, and I know he'll never vote for Adam. I would be shocked if Taylor writes down Adam's name. The only way he actually writes down Adam's name, and we talked about this, is if Jay goes to Ponderosa and tells Taylor, like, look, man, Adam's actually a good dude. We should vote for Adam to win, which could easily happen. That happens a lot at Ponderosa. Things have changed. People's opinions change. So unless that happens, I don't think Taylor ever writes down Adam's name. I think he goes Ken.
But in this situation, though, I mean, we're the final three that we're talking about, Jay would be on the jury.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of got to say, we got to take that into account. Do we really think Jay is going to say, hey, look, Taylor, like, we really should? Do you think he would go that far?
I don't know if he would go that far, but he would definitely at least say to him, like, Adam was actually like a lot better once you left. Like, I actually like Adam, and like you're going to talk about stuff that happened on the island, and that's going to be something that comes up naturally.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, but for now we'll put in Ken. But the thing is, his vote's not that strong for Ken. Adam's Taylor can kind of go either way. Okay, Chris.
Adam.
Yeah, who else?
I don't that's really what I'm
saying. Chris doesn't really. He's not going to vote Ken, I don't think, because they just never saw eye to eye on anything. And then it's Hannah or Adam.
I think he votes Adam because I think he respects the game. Like, I think he goes for the bigger moves than he goes for Hannah. I just feel like he's going for the bigger moves.
What big move did Adam make?
Well, he could always say the rock draw. He went to rocks for Hannah as opposed to just flipping on her. And I know that Adam was also on the Jessica side, but so was Hannah. I don't think Hannah was ever really going to work with Chris. They might have built some little relationship. These first three jurors, I have no idea. Like, I really don't know.
Yeah, I also, I guess it depends on who can deliver a better final tribal council speech. I honestly think Hannah could do a really good job at.
I think Adam gives the
swaying.
best one, though.
I
Out of
think
these
Adam
three,
might
I think Adam gives one better than
I
Hannah.
think Adam might come across as like too game body and not personable enough, and I think Hannah would do the exact opposite. But she'd have some game
I don't
points
know.
too. But she would be more like, I don't know. She'd be more charismatic, and Adam might just have a laundry list of things that he did. So I think Chris and Taylor are both up in the air. Let's keep moving, and we'll kind of see.
Well, wait. Let me ask you though: have we seen Hannah to be charismatic, or we've just kind of seen Hannah to be neurotic? I don't feel like we've really seen her to be charismatic.
Maybe not charismatic, but there's something endearing about the way Hannah speaks.
Yeah.
And, just maneuvers and herself and positions herself. I think, at least from what I've seen, I think people are like endeared by her.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, let's go to. All right, so who would it be? Jessica.
Jessica would vote Ken.
Yeah, I mean, she gave him the legacy advantage. The only way she wouldn't vote Ken is if she actually wanted to, vote for somebody who played the game more. In which case, she would vote Adam. She would never vote Hannah in this situation. I don't think.
Why you? I don't know. You keep saying this. We're like, they're just all these votes are going to Adam.
No. I'm not just saying that they're going to Adam. My thing is Jessica is a huge fan of the show. She might not want somebody. She likes Ken a lot as a person, but she might know that he wasn't really playing the game and not vote for him. And the next closest person she was with was Adam. Her and Hannah never really built a relationship.
Right. That's
what
true.
I'm saying.
Right. Okay. I hear you.
Yeah.
But we'll mark her down for Ken.
That's why I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely for Ken.
Okay.
Zeke.
Hannah. Right?
See, I'm like up in the air on him too.
Yeah, because I don't think Zeke would vote Adam just for the things that he would say about Adam. And then Adam was gone, jumped ship before Hannah did. At least Hannah like stuck around and then was like, I'm going to David, and it was kind of awkward. Adam and Zeke never had a moment like that. Never had like a breakup. And I don't think Zeke votes Ken. So it's between Hannah and Adam. And which one did he have a better, longer relationship with? It was Hannah. And I don't think Zeke's better.
I guess, yeah. I mean, you got to remember, like from the beginning to the end, yeah, they went through like one of the biggest arcs where it was like they were arguing at the beginning and now they're friends, and then she just completely like ruins his game. So I don't know.
Yeah, but do you remember? Did you see Zeke's Ponderosa? Zeke goes, Zeke goes in, and then Chris is the one who's like not happy to see Zeke, and Chris is feeling betrayed, and Zeke goes like, "Oh my gosh!" And Zeke settles it, and he was surprised that Chris wasn't happy to see him. So I don't think Zeke is gonna hold resentment towards Hannah. Like he might not be happy that he got voted out, but he'll like respect the hell out of Hannah for it if she made it to the final three. I think we go Hannah.
Yeah, I think it's Hannah, but I think it could go Adam. I think that one actually could go either way. It's not going to be Ken once again, even though right now we have it as 2-2-1, Hannah, Adam.
I think this one goes Hannah. You have to mark it down for Hannah.
I did mark it down for Hannah. I'm marking it down as we go. Okay. Sunday would go Adam.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any reason to go Hannah, except Sunday didn't have a good relationship with really any of these people. I mean, I guess right at the end there, Adam worked with Sunday. So yeah, I guess Adam. Sure. Oh, Sunday.
I have no, I don't know these jurors. Like, where are they going? I guess we're spending a lot of time on one that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, but I think the other ones might be pretty quick to figure out. I don't know. We'll see.
Anything with Jay is going to be easier to figure out. So.
Right. That's why I kind of like doing this one early.
Okay.
So where are we at? Will's not going to go. I think Will goes Adam just because it's like they're just kind of the same, similar age, male. I don't think Will got along with Hannah that well.
Yeah.
But maybe he did. I don't know.
Okay. And then Brett probably goes the same way Sunday goes. And I think he goes Adam.
Yeah.
So Adam's up to 4. And then David, would he vote Ken?
I think
he's good with all of these people. So that would really come down to who betrayed him.
I think he would go Hannah, just because, like, either way, if you vote Ken, you're going to piss off Hannah. If you vote Hannah, you're going to piss off Ken. I don't think Adam's even in the running. for David's vote.
And then Jay would go Adam.
Yeah. So Adam
So
wins.
Adam wins in that situation.
But we had some floaters in there. We didn't really. Who were his
We had
five
some
votes?
floaters. Like Sunday and Brett could go somewhere else. They could go Hannah maybe. But we also said that somebody like Taylor, if he gets word from Jay, he could go to Adam. That's a tough one. That's a weird one because we don't really know where people stand with Ken and Hannah so much.
Yeah. But it's a fun one. Okay, we'll give that one to Adam. Okay,
let me ask you though, what about this legacy advantage? And like, could that possibly impact the jury, or are we just completely ruling out an impact of the jury? I know we probably shouldn't completely rule it out, but are we?
I think we can, because voting on a jury member, it took a whole tribal council last time. We just don't have the time for that this episode.
Yeah.
And I don't think they'd rush it. Where you whisper in Jeff's ear, and then Jeff goes, Taylor, out of here. Like they do a whole ceremony about it. So I don't think we have time for that.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
Hey, if it is, then what are we going to do on this podcast? Like, just say, oh, well, can't predict anything.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's keep Hannah and Ken in, and let's do with Hannah and Ken and David and Jay, because I think those are the two most likely final threes in reality.
Wait, come again? Which final three do you want to do next?
Let's do Hannah, Ken, and let's do
guys.
Hannah, Ken, and David, and then let's do Hannah, Ken, and Jay.
Hannah, Ken, and David. I mean, I don't see how David doesn't win this one.
Yeah, but break it down real quick, because I think you'd be a little surprised.
Okay. Let's see. Michelle probably goes Hannah.
Yeah.
Taylor probably goes Hannah. Chris probably goes David.
Yeah, he probably goes David, unless, because like I said, I think he'll be. I know he was bitter at Ponderosa, but I think that was just because he was so personal with Zeke. I don't think he ever got personal with David. And I think he was ready to backstab David anyway. I
think Chris is with David. He's like, David was always the nuisance kind of hanging around. And if David makes it to final tribal council and you have like this big, ex-football player, defense attorney, he's like, wow, David, man, he scrapped his way here. Got to give to him. I think Chris respects David. So that will go David. Then we have Jessica's David. Then it's Zeke. Zeke goes David. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Because I think
he respects the game.
Yeah,
he knew that they were the two heads.
Yeah, that whole war. I think Zeke would say, okay, like you beat me now. Because if the person who beat you, then you give it to Hannah. I don't know. I don't think that fits. So that would be Zeke goes David.
Will
probably David. Because
I have no idea where Will goes.
Because I think Will also respects this game. He was playing really hard. And his whole pendulum strategy, what was his goal? It was to go Zeke.
Yeah.
Then you get David. Then you get Jay.
Yeah.
He didn't see Hannah or Ken as a threat. I think he would have to – he called David out as a threat. So he would, I think, have to vote David.
Yeah. And then I think Brett and Sunday both go Hannah.
Brett and Sunday go Hannah. Adam goes Hannah.
No, I think Adam goes David.
Really? Adam and Hannah are like tight.
Yeah, I know they're tight. I think that Adam will think David played a better game.
Maybe.
I don't think Hannah is going to get that much respect at this final tribal, dude. Like, I really don't think she's going to get very much respect. I think we saw a different side than they're seeing. They're seeing like, she was more flippy floppy.
Yeah, and I think Brett and Sunday would go David too, because who was Sunday at like beefing with the whole time? It was Jessica. It wasn't Ken. It wasn't David. And Brett. I mean, Brett had nothing. Brett's been calling out that David's a threat this whole time. I think they would both go David. They wouldn't both go Hannah.
Yeah, and I mean Jay would definitely go David. I think because they're both huge, and then I think that. That would be it. Yeah. So I think either way, David wins this.
Yeah.
Either 6-4, 8-2, and Ken gets nothing in that situation.
Right.
Is there any way that Jessica would still go Ken instead of David?
I don't.
She did give him legacy thing.
That's true, but when you're voting for the winner, I don't know. I think you got it. That's going to be David there. Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to plug in Jay, and then we'll get to like the big stuff. We'll get to the big ones.
Yeah. Then plug in Jay. I mean, I think these are the two most likely: is the Hannah Ken David and the Hannah Ken Jay.
I completely agree.
All right, so yeah, put in J. Michelle's a J. Taylor's J. Chris is probably
Chris is
J, right?
probably J. Jessica is likely J. No, Ken.
Yeah.
It's just so weird voting for Ken. It's like I keep forgetting.
I think Jessica votes for Ken in this situation.
Yeah, that's true.
Zeke is J, right?
Yeah, I would say unless Zeke and Jay never got along, but I think they never saw. I never saw anything too negative between them. Yeah, they'd go Jay. He'd go Jay. Then we have
Will is Jay, obviously.
Yeah, Sunday would go Jay. Brett goes Jay. David. Even if it goes Hannah, it doesn't matter. Jay wins that.
Goes Hannah. I mean, that one Jay wins in a landslide.
Okay.
So we did that.
Let's toss in Jay, David, and Ken.
Jay, David, and
Ken. That seems. Yeah, let's do a
that
Jay versus
David.
Let's do a Jay versus David one.
Yeah.
Okay, Michelle is going Jay. Taylor's going Jay. Chris is
going.
Chris goes David. Right?
Okay. I don't know. He might go. I have no idea who Chris is going to vote for. I really don't. I have no idea. In any situation, I really don't have a read on what Chris is going to do.
I think he would go David. Gen Xer. And they like I said, I think
they fought the whole time.
Yeah.
So let's say it is
on opposite ends. You kind of just got to tip your cap.
Yeah.
Jess.
So then Jessica would be David.
David. So then we're sitting 2-2 right now. Zeke goes Jay, I think.
He could go either way there, though.
He could go either way. Yeah. I will leave Zeke up in the middle.
Yeah. Will's going Jay.
Jay. Sunday, I think, goes Jay. Brett probably goes Jay.
Yeah.
Adam.
Ken would go David.
Jay.
Oh, Ken's in there.
Yeah. Adam would go Jay. Hannah would go David.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Is that a J win? That's a J win.
That's a J win. And I honestly think.
But Chris and Zeke, they could both go David. They could both go Jay. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think he would still. I mean, it would be 7-3, so it could be like 5-5, 6-4. I really don't know. With Chris, Chris is such a wild card to me because I feel like with Chris, what does Chris do? Chris just we never saw him in the relationships with people. It was very, very meh.
Yeah, he always had some observations and was very on the side about. He never had that one-on-one really with anybody except for Zeke. So. And him and Brett were always like friends, but I mean, I don't think Brett's going to be sitting up there.
Yeah, I don't think Brett's going to be sitting up there. I mean, obviously, if we can like throw in Brett, like what would Brett be like if he's in there? I just think it's so unlikely that Brett actually makes the final three, and I don't know why.
There's no chance. I don't even think it's worth doing.
Like, I think we should at least run through it real quick just to see who would definitely vote for Brett in a situation.
Okay, all right, fine, let's do it.
Just real quick.
Let's do Brett, Ken, and I don't know, Hannah, like that. The bottom.
That's
three.
Never going to happen. We don't have to do Brett, Ken, and Hannah. I don't think. Do we? I mean, do you want to just to say like who would win? I mean,
all right, Brett, Ken, and David.
Yeah, let's do Brett, Ken, and David. Because Brett's going to get Chris's vote, and he's going to get Sunday's vote, no matter what.
Mm-hmm. We have Michelle and Taylor probably both going Hannah, just because they're millennials.
Well, she's not in there, so I don't know how they're voting for her. Brett, Ken, and David.
Oh, okay. Brett, Ken. Oh, this is an all Gen Xer final three. Interesting. Yeah. So with Taylor and Michelle goes David, Taylor goes Ken, Chris is going Brett.
Obviously. Jessica goes David.
Or Ken. I don't know.
Yeah. Zeke is probably going Brett. I mean, they bonded, right? Or is he not doing that?
I think, yeah. Zeke's a tough one because Zeke, this is why Zeke was such a big threat. He had really one-on-one relationships with like everybody.
Yeah.
Like, you talk about Zeke and Adam, how he could vote Adam, Zeke and Hannah, Zeke and David, Zeke and Brett. Then he's obviously Zeke and Chris, who's already on the jury, but Zeke was everywhere.
Yeah.
Now I'm really realizing how like involved he was, and that's why he got voted out, you know.
And I think he made personal relationships with everybody. That's why Chris was so hurt by that boot, because he made a personal relationship with Chris. He made a personal relationship with Brett. He made a personal relationship with David.
Yeah, I could see him. I don't think Zeke would vote Brett, but I could see. I think he would. I think he'd likely go David.
Okay, I mean,
Because we have to remember, there's a lot. There's that whole time on Ikabula where it was David and Zeke, and I think they really. I mean, who did David show his idol to? It wasn't Chris. It was Zeke.
Yeah.
So I think Zeke would would go David. Then, yeah, Will is probably David.
God.
Again, Will. I think Will really will vote with the gamer mentality.
Yeah.
Then we have Sunday, who
Brett.
Yeah, Brett.
Hannah's
Adam,
voting
Jay.
David.
Yeah, Adam and Jay probably vote David also though.
Yeah. So I mean, David still wins that in a landslide. It's just funny that if Brett makes the final 3, he takes 2 votes from somebody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is so weird to me because Ken doesn't have that impact. It's really only Brett who has that impact.
I think Ken could get votes from Jessica or David, and that's it.
Yeah.
Who else is
they're
writing
not locked,
Ken's name down?
You know?
Yeah, no, they're not. Of course. Okay. Which other ones do we want to get in here before we jump to comments? I mean, been going through.
Well, let's do Adam, David, and Jay just in the off chance that the
actually
power 3 make it.
I want to do a Jay, Adam, Ken, or Jay, Adam, Hannah. Let's do a Jay, Adam, Hannah. Just all millennials. It might be interesting.
Okay.
Michelle and Taylor go Jay. Chris goes David. Jess goes.
David's not there.
Oh crap! So he's saying that.
I know. I'm noticing.
Chris goes.
I think Chris goes Adam.
Why is this? I just wonder.
The only reason I'm thinking that is because I know well, no, you know what? He wouldn't go Adam. He would probably go. God, I have no idea where Chris would go. He might go Jay. Yeah. The reason I was thinking Adam. The reason I was thinking Adam is because Adam actually was playing. I think a little bit with. Wasn't he playing a little bit with Chris? Right before Chris's boot.
Yeah, they were in the same alliance. That 9-person that started out the merge, the 9 majority. Yeah. I also think though Chris can respect Jay's game as an underdog and him making it to the end.
Mm-hmm.
It really this is I think usually and this is because there's 4 contenders and why it's going to be a great finale. Why we think it's going to be a great finale. Usually when we do this, we're like, okay, that jury vote could go either way, but we're usually pretty sure. A lot of these people we have zero clue. All right, so for now, we'll leave Chris up in the air for now. Okay. Jess is going to go Adam. Yeah, 100%. Then we have Zeke. Will go. I don't know. That's someone else, 100%. Because Zeke and Chris are just completely up in the air. Bill is going to go Jay. Yeah. And I think Brett Sunday go Jay. David.
I think they go Adam. I really think Adam actually built a relationship with them. And I know they were on opposite sides, but he made it clear he was willing to work with them. And he did work with them at that one point to get rid of Will. And I think
but it's enough, because Brett and
what did Jay ever do with them? I know they were on the same tribe, but then as soon as they hit the merge, they were abandoned.
So we have to think about personal relationships. We also have to think about who has a more impressive game. I mean, Jay worked with them to flip Michaela. And that's why Brett and Sunday were even at the merge. I mean, Jay has that on his resume. Jay's one.
It was just really weird though, because post merge, we never saw Brett and Sunday ever do anything with Jay.
I mean, who did Jay take on his loved one visit? He took Sunday. Sunday and her husband got to go. I think Sunday. I mean, I just think I don't know. Brett and Sunday also worked with Jay. That Ikabula thing was real.
Like I said though, it just seemed like as it went later. It became they just really stopped talking with Jay, and I don't know why, but I know they voted with him at the 5-5 thing, but they were more on Team Zeke, and they just needed Jay. They could have easily made it 4-4, and instead it was just no, let's get rid of Will, because Jay's the biggest player in the game.
Yeah, I hear you, but I don't think Adam's argument is topping that. I think they're pretty equal, and then when you look at just who's been called out as the threats through the entire game, I think we have to give a lot of credence to that, names that have been called out on this pecking order and we got to get this person. We gotta get this. Jay's been up there throughout the entire merge. I mean, you get to the merge and you're told immediately from Hannah, from Zeke, that Jay's threatening everyone else, saying Jay's running the show. Jay just booted Michaela. Jay. And that's been going on for what, 20 days now? 18 days? I don't know how long. And so when Jay's there at the final three, even if Adam's played an amazing game and he like worked a little bit with Sunday on a couple votes or Brett on a couple votes, I don't know if that's enough to be like, yeah, well, I worked with you, so I'm going to vote for you. You have to have played a better game also. And so when Adam and Jay are so equal, I really think that Jay's game, and I'm not saying 100% sure that Jay has played a better game than Adam. I'm talking about the perception of the jury. And I think Jay just has that like threatening image, and it's like if he gets there, he deserves it. And he's had that on his head the entire time.
That makes sense. I mean, that does make sense. We see that happen a lot. It's the same thing with Mike. I know Alexa just watched Worlds Apart again, and she was saying Mama C was
bad for her.
Yeah, no, she feels bad for herself. But she was saying Mama C was so well liked. How did she get like no votes at the end? She got one, but how did that happen? It's like because they just ended up respecting Mike's game, the fact that he made it there when he was the number one.
It's like, how do you not vote for Mike when he just ran the table?
Yeah.
You know, it's tough. And if Jay's going to get to the final three, he's going to have to pull off something pretty incredible too. I think we're taking into account their games of now. We have to think if Adam gets to the final three, he didn't have to probably do anything that crazy. He had to boot David. And
which is pretty hard to do at this point, though.
Which is pretty hard to do. I give him credit. But if Jay gets there, I think it's a way bigger feat. It's a huge feat.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, and then Ken would vote Hannah or Adam? Which one would he vote for?
Probably Adam.
Yeah. And then David would probably vote Hannah, right?
So what's the total there?
2-3-1 with Chris up in the air and Zeke up in the air.
And then Brett and Sunday going where?
Oh, if Brett and Sunday go, it'd be Jay with 5, Adam with 2, Hannah with 1, and then Chris and Zeke up.
So we have Brett, Sunday, Zeke, and Chris. Yeah, I still think the whole just perception of Jay really pushes him over Adam in that vote. Do we have which is a way that Adam wins? That's the Hannah, Ken, Adam one, right?
Hannah, Ken, Adam, he would win. Could he win if it's Adam, David, and Ken, or Adam, David, and Hannah?
I don't know. I don't think Adam can beat David. I don't, because when we go through these like jury members and we have Jay sitting there in the final tribal council, it's like, okay, Michelle and Taylor, boom, those go to Jay. And then we go to the Gen Xers. It's Adam sitting up there. Michelle and Taylor those are people that aren't gonna vote for Adam. I don't think really anyway. When are they voting for Adam?
The only time is when I said with Jay.
Yeah, you said with the Jay thing, but Michelle too. I mean, I just
she
never
could do it too. Yeah, why not?
Okay, I mean, there's so many variables. It's really tough to spot.
Well, let's do one with Adam and David both in it then, and then because we already pretty much said Jay's going to beat David.
Okay, we'll do one more because we should probably get to comments too.
Yeah, but we agree. If Jay sits next to David, Jay wins. If Adam and Jay are sitting next to each other, Jay wins. Like if Jay makes the final 3, Jay's going to win. It's pretty much what we're saying.
I'm pretty confident in that. I think so.
So now let's say it's an Adam, David, and Hannah, because Hannah would be able to steal votes from them. I don't think Ken would steal votes. Ken might not necessarily steal votes because the only one would be Jessica, and I think Jessica would probably vote David anyway. So if it's Adam, David, and Hannah, she could possibly steal votes here. But Adam, David, and Ken,
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do Adam, David, and Hannah.
Michelle goes Hannah.
Yeah.
Taylor. Probably Hannah. Right? I mean, if it's this whole kind of everyone's living together, talking to each other, and it's Michelle's going to vote Hannah.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him voting David too. Like I said, I don't think Taylor ever votes Adam, but
Taylor. No, we're thinking. No, we're getting back to this. Taylor will probably vote for Adam because Jay will tell him to.
Yeah, if Jay's on the jury.
So let's go. Let's go. Michelle goes to Hannah. Taylor goes to Adam. It's unbelievable. Then we have Chris goes to David.
Yeah.
Jessica goes to David.
No, David. No, you're right. I don't know why I said Adam. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I have it like written down, and I'm looking at the wrong one.
Yeah, Jessica goes David. Zeke goes Hannah or David. I don't know which one. Haven't we done this one already? Didn't we go? I think we went through this one already.
We didn't. It was David, Hannah, and Ken.
Oh.
Which I think we said Zeke ends up going David.
Yeah.
No, you said Hannah because he wouldn't be bitter about it. But I think he votes David because I think David played the better game.
Yeah, I think David played the better game in that whole battle war thing where it's like you took me down, you gotta give you respect. And then Will is going.
He's going with Taylor and Jay.
He's going with Adam. Okay. Yeah. Brett and Sunday are probably. I don't know. They could go with.
I would say
Adam, I guess.
Yeah, I think they go Adam. I think Adam beats David if it's Adam, David, and Hannah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because he's got I
mean, I think if it's Adam, David, and Ken, I think David could win because
I just don't see from the story, from the editing wise, like if it's Adam and David there sitting at Final Tribal, I don't see how Adam is making a case to beat David, even though we just went through the votes and that seems like it's very reasonable. I think David, it's also the whole thing with David. He's had this threat on him for so long. You look at Brett and Sunday, they might really respect that, even though they worked with Adam. So I don't know. It depends how Brett and Sunday really feel about how close were they ever with Adam. Like it was a strategic vote.
And I think that
David has had like a crazy
so
journey
up in the air.
Yeah, and it was a crazy journey for David. And they were there on that Gen X speech. They saw David being like afraid of the sound of chopping wood. They saw him squirm for idols and then apologize and all these things. And they see where he is now, and that's someone you, I think, give $1 million to. So
that's a good point.
Yeah.
They keep showing all those things of Ken saying people respect you for what you've done and all of that. So
yeah,
they could
I really hope David's like this decoy winner where it's like he's getting all these like respect things and growth things, and they're not. Just because the editors have been very tricky, more tricky lately than they were, with Mike. I think that kind of was, once Mike happened, they're like, okay, we have to really figure something out. Jeremy wasn't, too disguised, but last season Michelle was very, I don't know, Edgic had Michelle pretty early, but she wasn't in your face. David, I hope, is like a decoy. And then, I don't know, Jay's been getting better, so... Yeah. Let's get into comments, though, and hear what the commenters have to say. I'm sure we got a good amount. So where are we pulling comments from?
Well, I think we should
start
Twitter. Obviously, like the people who commented today. And then I think we should do the YouTube video.
Okay, you read Twitter. I know your voice is sore, so I'll read the YouTube ones from our last video. And we'll start with Twitter.
All right, we'll start with Twitter. Let's see here. I don't know what that means. T-Rex Survivor. See, there goes my voice. T-Rex Survivor. What would be interesting gameplay would be if Adam, Jay, and Brett were to make a fake idol and then send Adam to convince Hannah, David, and Ken to split the votes between Jay and Brett, 2-2-2, and in actuality, the plan is to put a 3-2-1 vote with David getting the majority of votes. What?
I love when you split the 2-2-2 split and then one person just hops over for a 3. That I would love to see that. I guess we've talked through all the juries. We haven't talked, we're going to have 3 tribal councils before the whole jury thing. So hopefully these questions are on the first part. So I like getting started here. How do you think Jay can get to the final tribal council without winning all 3 immunities?
Well, the first vote would have to
be the first one, right? Where it's like he doesn't win at the first mini challenge, and then he somehow, who is he spinning on? Is he spinning on to David?
Yeah.
And do you think Adam flips there?
I don't know. Because it depends where Adam's head is at and how badly he needs to get rid of David, because he knows that he's not going to probably flip Hannah with him, so it'd be 3-3.
Okay. So we talked about this last week. I'm like trying to put myself in Adam's position. You okay there?
No, I'm dying, but it's cool.
I'm trying to put myself in Adam's position. It depends. Does he really realize how big of a threat David is? And I think he does, because he wanted to vote David last week. And Hannah didn't seem, I don't know, she was opposed to it, but she didn't seem like, no, that's not at all. I love David. she said she had to think about it, and it was like up in the air. So Hannah's definitely open to the idea, and now we're one vote closer to the final tribal council. Hannah might start getting real to Hannah. It's like, oh, I'm actually going to get here. Like, I don't want to be next to David. Hannah, I think, thinks that she can beat Adam. I think personally that's what Hannah feels. She has a better chance of doing that than beating David, at least in Hannah's mind. So I think Hannah could flip. I mean, at the end of the day, it seems like David's going to have to either go out like right at 6, or he's going to go to the end.
Yeah. The only thing would be like maybe Jay goes first, and then Adam's like, Hannah, we need to vote with Brett right now to get rid of David. So David could go 5. Like, this comes down to Adam and Hannah. If Hannah's okay with just going to the end with David and Ken, that's what's going to happen.
Right. I don't think Adam will go to Rocks.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think at this late in the game you could. But I think he believes I'll be 4th. I just have to win 1 immunity. I would much rather try to win 1 immunity than go to Rocks.
And for Rocks, you're drawing 1 of 3. Because 2 people become immune from the Rocks and 1 person has immunity. So,
if I'm Adam and I have immunity, then I say, let's tie this up, Jay and Brett.
Yeah, man.
That would be cool.
And then Hannah is going to have to flip, and then David will go. So
yeah, because then Hannah also knows if Adam wins immunity, whoever they put the votes on, which would probably be Jay, he's then safe. David is safe, and then it's down to Hannah, Brett.
Well, I think they would vote
and Ken.
They would vote knowing that they're going to go to Rocks if they are going to do this, and so they're going to vote. They're not going to put it on David. They're going to make sure David is drawing a rock.
Yeah, which would be hilarious then if David went and changed his vote away from Hannah, so he didn't have to draw a rock.
Oh man, if we get Rocks in a finale, that would be.
But I think the only way Adam does it is if he wins immunity in that final 6.
Right. So, is there any possibility? Because if Jay goes first, then David could go, and then we're left. Then that's crazy. We have our 2 front runners out. How is Brett going home first? Like we might think.
Jay wins immunity.
Jay wins immunity, and then everyone's like, okay, it's Brett.
And then the 4 of them just vote out Brett.
Yeah, and I mean, Adam, what's Adam going to do there? He's not going to go to Rocks.
No.
Unless
because
they say, hey, look, unless they plan it like to have David, no, because they wouldn't be on board with that. I was going to say have Hannah say to vote Adam. So Ken and David and Hannah to vote Adam. Brett, Jay, and Adam vote Hannah. So Hannah and Adam become immune themselves, and that forces Ken, David, and Brett to go to Rocks. That'd be next level gameplay if Hannah and Adam could pull that off.
And I think that Brett or David would also probably flip at that point to try to save themselves.
Yeah, they both flip, and then it's still tied.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, I think that if Adam wins immunity, he could draw Rocks, but otherwise, like, it's just such a risk. And I think that the only way Brett goes first is if Jay wins immunity, and it's like, okay, let's get rid of Brett because this is our 4-person alliance,
Right. Is there any possibility of Jay losing immunity, the first tribal council, and then someone other than Jay or David goes home?
If Adam overplays his hand, he could go.
Yeah, if he keeps flipping back and forth. Mm-hmm. I think David's pretty wary of Adam.
Yeah,
I really do, because he's not. I'm sure he's told Ken. I mean, we've seen it a bunch. Ken and David final 2, whatever you want to call it. And then have we seen Hannah gotten like a confirmation final 3? I don't think so. Usually at least to my memory, like usually there's a lot more final 3 deals, and there's like groups of people that have promised. We haven't had many promises this season.
Well, and a lot of the people who promised them are already gone. Like, I think Zeke and David were like, yeah, we're going to go to the end together. And then they just back out on each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but it's different. When people say, oh, let's go to the end, well, it's day 36 and there's 6 people left. It's the end, but it's final 6. It's not final 3. It's saying, that's very different than saying, let's go to final 3 together. Final 3 deal. It's very specific. You can't really wiggle your way out of it. And I didn't hear many of those this season.
Yeah, no, you're right, and I think maybe Ken did. Hasn't Ken said to David?
It's Ken
like,
and David. Yeah, that's it. It's Ken and David. Right.
That's it. Okay. Yeah. No, that's interesting. I'm curious. This first vote.
I think winners usually say it. Yeah, you're right. If we knew the first vote off, we could predict the rest of it easily.
I think so. Yeah.
All
right. Let's see here. Larry Miller, if Adam wins, is he replacing Michelle as Phil's favorite winner? Man, Michelle is not my favorite winner. I was gonna say it's like I just love trolling all of you. She is not my favorite winner. I just love trolling. No, I don't know. Adam would have to do something pretty crazy. Probably my favorite winner is like Chris or Todd or like Brian Heidick. I love those guys. So
yeah, I mean, it depends what you have to do. It's all about that. Finale is when you kind of, you solidify your win and you have to do something pretty crazy. At least for Adam, I think he's got a pretty big battle. But it is cool to have Adam in the finale. We said this last time. It's very cool that he's made it, this far. It's a lot of fun.
It is. Let's see here. Oh, and of course, Gamer Girl asked this question: who do you think will be skipped over at the reunion? We haven't talked reunion at all, Will. We haven't mentioned it. This is the predictions for the finale. We have not mentioned the reunion.
All right, let's get the reunion over with, because we really need to predict the reunion. Who doesn't get talked to?
Well, I think it's interesting. Jeff said last year he was really disappointed in the way they handled it, and I think he's going to try to hit more people this season. I really do think he's going to, because he got a lot of backlash last year. A lot more than normal.
Yeah, I think Lucy is going to get most of the footage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She'll be the whole thing. That would be hilarious.
They're going to overdo Lucy.
I mean, I think they're going to do a pretty good job because he knows how well liked this cast is right now.
I mean, and there's some people like Will who might be someone you don't talk to, but he is, the high school kid. So you got to talk to Will. Sunday, she's a cancer survivor. And with the whole thing going on with that, and you got to talk to Sunday, even though you might not have talked to her if the circumstances were different. So Will and Sunday are going to get talked to. Brett, with the whole Brett Zeke thing, I don't know. That was a pretty big scene. That was like the selling point of this theme this season. Zeke and Michaela are getting talked to. They're just big characters. Brett, he'll get talked to. Cece is someone I don't see getting talked to.
Yeah. Rachel, probably not. That
Rachel was first boot though, so she's got that going.
But they've been skipping the first boots recently.
Okay. Yeah, Rachel.
They will definitely talk to Figgy and Taylor. For sure.
Ooh, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be spicy.
Ooh. Michelle could get skipped, for sure.
Yeah, it's possible.
It'll be interesting.
Ken will get talked to.
Ken's gonna get talked to, dude.
David,
a popular
for sure.
dude right now.
Jay for sure. Adam for sure. Hannah for sure. Wow, they're all in the finale. Beautiful.
Jessica for sure. She got rocked out. Come on.
So Paul had a little medical situation. He's probably skippable.
Mari.
Yeah, she could get skipped. She's the oldest millennial, though. I don't know.
I know.
I think we touched on everybody.
I think we might have. Did we miss
Chris? He might get skipped. Poor Chris.
Yeah, he might.
Okay, good question, Gamer Girl. That's the reunion. Back to the good stuff.
Yeah, that's our reunion portion of the podcast. Giovanni Rihanna, if Ken won, this makes Edgic. Will this make Edgic malfunction and blow up similar to how fans reacted with Michelle's win? Yes.
Michelle,
first of all, Michelle was the Edgic pick.
Yeah, so for a while.
They're not comparing it that way. This would just be like Edgic is not expecting Ken, I don't think, at this point, right? Is that what he's saying?
I think he's been pretty much ruled out from most. But people ruled out David after the first episode, and then he came back when everyone, because that's the editors intentionally misled the winner this season, and it's blatant because every one of the people left this is what they call it a dead it, when something happens in your game that prevents you from winning, and everyone here has had multiple dead its.
Yeah,
and I don't know, Jay saying he's the kingpin at the merge, and then losing that vote 9-4. That's what you would call a dead it. But again, everyone Adam at being called untrustworthy and a terrible alliance member by Hannah and Zeke. That's what you would call a dead it. But we don't need to get into like that, too much stuff because it happened to everybody.
Giovanni Rihanna, if Jay wins, I think he's most similar to Aris or Danny. Now, Aris was always on top. Not Aris. He was always on top.
I think you would have to say Mike here, even though I think this win would be more impressive just because he didn't have immunity like every single time. Like Jay held on to that idol for, I think, 3 tribal councils where he could have played it and eventually wasted it. But who else can you really...
I'm going to tell you. Fabio.
Yeah.
I think Fabio. Fabio's whole alliance fell apart the entire post-merge. It was just young person after young person after young person after young.
Yeah,
and I know the final 3 ended up being 3 young people. But before that, his like alliance just went down. And then Nyanka quits, Kelly Shin quits. Those were 2 of his closest allies in the game. I know Nyanka and him didn't get along, but they voted together for most of it.
Yeah, and then you have Benry and Dan Lembo. They get picked off late. And Nyanka ends up voting for Fabio, even though they were kind of at each other's throats.
And all he had to do is he had to win like the last 2 challenges, which is probably what Jay has to do.
He won the last 2. He didn't win the last 3. So if Jay can, and then what Mike won. Mike
won like 5.
Mike only lost 1 challenge, and that's the challenge he used as idol.
Yeah. So Mike, I don't know. And Danny is tough because Danny did have a similar situation where her alliance fell apart. But Danny played a much more under the radar game. Everybody knows Jay's a threat. Nobody was looking at Danny as a threat.
Right. And I said this before the Worlds Apart finale, and I'll say it again here. Like, if Jay wins, I want him to go into at least 1 tribal council without immunity, Because, we've had a great season, and imagine if Jay rattles off 3 wins. It'd be impressive, and I'd still love it because Jay was my winner pick, and we've had all the fun with Jay this season. But to make it really like a top tier, like maybe even top 3 level season, I want to see some good gameplay in the finale and not just someone win 3 challenges in a row.
See, I disagree a little bit just because we've seen Jay make so many great moves without having immunity that I think it's okay now if he has to.
True.
I'd rather not, but if he has to.
I'm just saying I'd rather. Like, it would really put the season over the top if we see some like just really interesting gameplay, as well as, the satisfying winner and fun challenges, all this stuff. So, either way, I think we're in for a good finale just because of the cast and people remaining. But that would be my preference.
Yeah. Giovanni, Will is not going to the after party. Jeff said they served alcohol. God, Will's just going to be chilling in the back drinking a Pepsi while everybody else is going to be hammered.
Yeah. Poor Will, man.
They not be able to get into the bar.
If they go to a bar, Will can actually, he just can't go. I feel like someone would let him in, but it is CBS and they're public, and it's like, you have, Mothers Against Drunk Driving probably, they would hear about it, and it could be a, public relations scandal.
If Will goes into a bar.
Exactly. It sounds simple.
It's a Wednesday night. You can still go into bars pretty. Like they go to a
sports
an
bar.
Applebee's. Yeah.
Go to the Survivor finale post party is at Applebee's. That would be.
They
fun.
Actually had to search for one too, because like in LA, I don't know where the nearest Applebee's is, but they searched for that Applebee's.
Fridays, there's like one Fridays, and it's all the way by the airport. I like Fridays.
It's awful.
Yeah,
I like Fridays too.
Yeah.
We have to go to Big Wang places. That's what we got. Anyway, Giovanni, would you have predicted this final 6 after watching the first episode? I certainly wouldn't have. I thought Mario.
But when can you ever predict a final 6? That's like, if you can predict a final, I would never in a million years think I could ever do that.
No, but I am a little surprised that out of the finale people, I thought Mari, I thought Zeke. I thought, like, and this is Mari.
Yeah, after one episode, it's like.
Yeah, you think that these are going to be your bigger characters, though. And not saying that some of these people weren't bigger characters, but I know we were talking Chris. We were talking stuff like that. I really wouldn't expect Brett. I really wouldn't expect Hannah. I really wouldn't expect Ken.
I guess what about this question? How about this? I'll rephrase Giovanni's question. At the merge, if I told you this was the final 6, would you be surprised?
Yeah.
Trying to think. Jay,
because you got to think Jay, Adam, both of them were early targets at the merge, and then Ken, just completely disappeared. So I was a little surprised. David's a huge target. To say that we had 3 huge targets and Ken had only had like 1 episode where he disappeared.
David, David wasn't that big. I don't think he was that big yet, though. Like after the merge episode, that's when he started like coming into his own. Once Michelle went home, then everyone hopped on the David train.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would be really surprised by this Final 6 at the merge.
Yeah, it's hard to say though because I'm always surprised. I mean, what Final 6 wouldn't surprise you if it was just
One World?
Yeah, that's true, and that season
Redemption
sucked.
Island.
But let's say this, like let's say that 9 against 4 at the merge, 6 of those 9 were the final 6. That would also surprise me, just because of how Survivor's been lately.
But I would have thought you'd get like, maybe you get 6 of those, or you get 5 of those, and maybe Will or something like that. You know what I mean? It's to me, it's kind of shocking that Jay made it here without really having to make a huge move to turn the game on its head.
Right? Yeah, it's true. It's true. Okay, I'm with you.
That's more my point. Giovanni, will this season benefit on a rewatch now that we know how most of these players have done? Definitely,
yes,
most seasons do benefit.
I think this season on a rewatch is going to be particularly good, especially when we know. Like, I really am gonna like to watch if David ends up winning. Going back and watching David like the first episode, the second episode, that's just going to be gold. You're just going to be like, wow, this dude somehow pulled off a win. And if Jay wins, you could just go back and read all the YouTube comments that called you an idiot for defending his Michaela move. And that's fun on a rewatch.
Yeah.
Or reread.
This is going to definitely be a good season to rewatch. Definitely, knowing who wins, especially with how many big characters there are. Gamer Girl, are you guys going to podcast from the same room for the finale like you did for the Co Wrong finale? Probably not. That was because Will had no cable yet because he had just moved.
No, it's because I had no internet. It was crazy. I got home and my internet was just off, and it just wouldn't work. It was bizarre. It's like it's only happened one other time since I've moved, and I don't know. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully not. I don't want to have to sit next to you in the
it was weird sitting next to you.
Yeah.
I didn't know where to look. When you were talking, I was looking like, where do I look?
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm gonna try to. We're already at an hour, so let's read some of these. Giovanni, are you gonna do a post-mortem on the season like you did with Co Wrong? We might. That might also be like part of like Adam, right? I mean,
yeah. I don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think we didn't really have many ideas to podcast after Co Wrong, and that off season is so long. Co Wrong, so long. That we just were like, all right, let's just like give a tribute to Co Wrong real quickly. And we really did like that season. This season's been awesome though. I mean, I think if we did one for Co Wrong, we should do one for Millennials vs. Gen X.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely I think a better season. But we'll see. I mean, this is a shorter off season. It's still longer than we expected, but we also have like holidays and stuff that get in the way. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Harold Rice, why is Figgy so bitter? Like, get over yourself, girlfriend. You played horribly. Man, I'd be bitter too if Taylor acted like Taylor really.
I mean, they were like
more than a game sense.
Figgy was like in love with Taylor and thought they were gonna.
I think Taylor. I mean, listen to the way Taylor talks about her, though, dude. Like, come on.
That's why she's bitter, and that's why I'm defending her right now. Honestly, like, imagine being Figgy. You get voted off. You leave a letter for Taylor at Ponderosa, and you don't really know what's going on. But this whole time you're on your little vacation with the pre-merge boots, and you're like, wow, like, we could be the next Rob and Amber. Like, that's going through your head. Like, to be a reality show couple that's actually legitimate and not, like, forced down your throat like The Bachelor or something where it's, like, that's the whole goal of the game. This is, like, an authentic, like, like, that would – I'm sure Figgy was all about that. Like, all about it. And then Taylor's like, nah, sorry. And she's like, what? Probably caught her off guard. That'll be interesting at the reunion for sure.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. That's going to be brutal. Giovanni, do you think Hannah thinks she has a better chance to win because she thinks Chris and Brett and everyone else will be bitter?
Does Hannah think she has a better chance to win because of bitterness? So that's the question.
Yeah, I think. I think they're asking. Do you think that Hannah has a better chance to win against these people just because?
Oh, not if Hannah thinks. If we think.
Yeah. No, if Hannah thinks. It is if Hannah thinks.
If Hannah thinks. I don't know if Hannah is going that route where she's like trying to bring strategic. I think she thinks her own game's strategic and that she's flipped on a lot of people. I mean, you look at Michelle, you look at Zeke. those two right there are people that Hannah worked with. If Adam makes it on that jury and Hannah has a hand in that, and that's three people that, if there's bitterness, that would actually lower her chances, right?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, because Hannah has played a very wishy-washy game that people could just be like, "You're annoying."
So.
Yeah,
and that's why I think she's going for the more I've been kind of a villain. I think Hannah sees herself as a villain. I'm not even joking when I say that. Not that she's villainous, but just as a game player.
Yeah. Giovanni, who's impressed you this season? I mean, I think really just about everybody except for in terms of one way or another, pretty much everybody impressed me except for Lucy. And
Ken impressed me not with his gameplay, but with his, character. So
his
some way,
ability to make it this far.
CC did not impress me. And I had CC, I think, winning my my prop bet. I think so.
Yeah. And I would even go as far as to say Paul impressed me because he went out as a threat, not because he was annoying.
Right.
Let's see here. Giovanni, who will ham it up and give the big jury speech?
I could see. We have Chris and Jess who are both attorneys.
Yeah.
So they probably have something good. If Adam's on the jury, he's going to get pretty. I think he'd be an intense, game question.
Mm-hmm.
But Jess seems kind of fiery, especially from that Ponderosa with Sunday. I think she's
furious.
And she got rocked. I think she's she thought the game was robbed from her. That's how Jessica really feels, and maybe she was right. Maybe she was going to win this whole thing if it weren't for the rocks. We don't know. But I could I'm going money's on Jessica.
Mm-hmm. Larry Miller asks, how's the prop bet and bootless games going? You want to use that as a segue?
Let's do it. Great question. We can take a break from comments for a little bit. I'll do the bootless scores first. I'm just going to read some names that are in the mix. These aren't in order. Well, let's see. Okay, we have Tori Cosgrove at 60, but she's got David at 17th place and Hannah at 16th place. So there's really no way. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Tara Stacy is at 71. Listen to this final 5. This is Tara Stacy's final 5. Adam at 5, Hannah at 4, David at 3, and she's got Mari at 2, but Brett at 1. Wow. So she has 4 of her final 5 still left. So Mari really killed, but still in the running for the second buff. Well, the first buff's almost all but locked up. Or no, that bootless only gets 1 buff, so maybe it is locked up. I don't know.
Yeah, bootless is 1. Wasn't prop bet 2? Or was it?
Yeah, prop bet's 2.
Yeah.
Let's see. M Lens is at 65, right in the mix. Benjamin Flores at 65, but got Hannah at 17, David at 15, Adam at 14, so that's kind of rough. All right, here's the top one. Trey Corby is at 49 and doesn't really have anybody too high. Has Brett at 14. Other than that, though, David at 12, and then Adam at 8, and then kind of Jay at 6, Hannah at 5. Mm-hmm. Ken at 1. So Trey Corby's got 49. I think the buff is going to go to Trey Corby. 49 is insane. Only person below 50 points.
That's really low.
Or only person below 60, actually. I don't think anyone else is even below 60. Edwin Hernandez is at 61. Got a solid bootless going. We have somebody. No, it's 71. Oh, Michael Feeney's at 53. This is the other one. This is the next person in the mix. So final 4 of Michael Feeney is Hannah at 4, Jessica at 7, Jessica's at 3, Brett at 2, Adam
Jessica's
at 1.
not in.
So no, that's Michael Feeney's 3 is Jessica. Okay. So got 7 points for that, but all the other 3 of the 4 final 4. But does have Jay at 15 and Ken at 14, so that could be rough.
That'll be tough, yeah.
But that's about it. Trey Corby's pretty much got a lock. What do you got from the prop bet game?
All right, I'll jump over to prop bet. I just want to announce that I picked Brett to be the winner for my prop bet. It's not going to happen, but it's cool that he's still there. All right, I'm going to go everybody who's 16 and up, just because this 10 tribals as a player is going to happen for almost every single player still left in the game. We already had it happen for Sunday, Brett, David, and Ken. I think Hannah and Adam are both at 8. And this next one will be 9, or this next one will be 10. So I haven't scored it yet, just in case there's something crazy that goes down. And Jay as well. So they're both right there. But
right.
I'll read everybody 16 and up just so you kind of know where you're at. Tori Cosgrove has 16. 0P681 has 17. Giovanni Oriana has 20 with Adam as his winner pick. So that's still alive. Yeah. KAC7686 has 17, also with Adam as the winner pick.
The winner's doubled, right?
Yeah, the winner's doubled. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm reading those out that still have them around. Loki Lokinen has 18. Steel Punch has 17. And then I know, yeah, here we go. X Bruin is winning right now with 21, but they had Figgy winning. So doesn't really have a chance there.
Does anybody have Jay winning or David winning?
Not that are like the leaders. Actually, Nate is winning with 23, but they had Cece winning.
Got it.
So that's everybody who's 16 and above. There's a lot of Adam picks for winner. There's a few J picks, but a lot of those people are lower.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, but if anybody's has like 10 points right now and they have 3 on J, it's doubled. So that's 6. Then you're at 16, and you might hit another prop bet too, like one of the tribal council ones or votes, something like that. So a lot to look forward to. 2 buffs going for the prop bet game. Quickly, let's just say thank you to the people who donated on Kickstarter. There's some people who donated during this show, so thanks a lot. I'm just going to read the names once these pop up. Okay, so we have Nick, Ann, who's Gamer Girl, Matt, Edwin Hernandez, Mark Dean, Nippy Ippin, Theodore, Adam Klein, The Irresponsible Men, Kurt Bunch, Amanda Bush something, Taylor, Vaughn. Now, Vaughn did the he's going to come on and do his boot list with us. I'm not sure who Vaughn is. I'm not sure what YouTube commenter or he's commented before. So if you're Vaughn, let us know. Got Pat, Doris Lowe, Tara Brooke, and Will Holston. So if you still want to play Eliminator with Adam and us, it's still available. I think there's like 5 left now. Someone just took a spot.
I think 2 people gobbled him up during this episode.
I think just 1 person. It's just Will.
Okay, so there's 6 spots left, and then
yeah. Okay. Anything else before we get back to comments? That was a nice little break, kind of housekeeping.
Yeah. Okay, now let's go back to comments. Gamer Girl, do you prefer the finales on Sundays or Wednesdays? I always like the Sunday ones, but I get why they don't do it, especially during football season. I mean, that's just wild. But I always liked it because it was like you're still on the weekend, so you can like survive to watch that. But on a Wednesday, I don't know.
I like the Sunday so much better. Mm-hmm. I really do. It makes it more of like an event, Yeah. During the week, it's like no one even notices. And I'm like, guys, there's Survivor Friday tonight, And you're out with people. Sunday, I can just be like, I'm just, I have free time to just get pumped for Survivor.
Yeah. Giovanni Oriana, do you think the final 6 will be the norm for 20-person seasons? It's definitely drifting that way.
Yeah, and it depends again on like the medevacs and quitters, stuff like that. So it's hard to say. But if it's 20-person and nobody kind of gets booted in an unconventional way, then yeah, it's just time. I don't know. How are you supposed to get rid of 14 people in, 12 episodes, 13 episodes. Yeah. So it's tough.
Yeah.
This year it's crazy because they counted that episode, that double hour, as only 1 episode. This really should be coming up like episode 15, I think. Right?
Yeah, I think it is. Is it 14 or 15? I think should be 15.
Well, we've had 14 people booted, and I guess we did the double boot. So I guess this would be 14.
Yeah. All right. Giovanni asks, if the final 3 is Jay, Adam, and David, will they being a big threat be negated since they're all threats, and who would win? We didn't do that one, did we?
I don't know.
I think we had said Jay would win because Jay has so many people that are guaranteed to vote for him. Will, Michelle, Taylor.
Yeah. That's tough.
Yeah. Gamer Girl and Giovanni ask if Jay and Brett's voting record are as bad or worse than Eddie's. I know Eddie never got it right. I think Jay's pretty close. I don't think Brett's as bad. Like
Yeah.
Jay's pretty close.
I mean, they both. I mean, during the rock draw, do they get credit because Jessica ended up going home, or is that just a wash?
I think that's a wash. Yeah.
Yes, they really haven't done anything correct. Did Brett? I guess Brett voted for Will, so he's a little bit better. But yeah. But again, I don't think voting record is as big of a deal as people make it out to be. I mean, it's good to be in control, but if you're surviving through every episode and you're still remaining as a threat to win, and people know that, I think that's it's worth some.
Yeah. Gamer Girl, fun pointless fact: all Survivor Brett's, Adams, and Natalie's have made it to the finale. That's interesting. So change your name, Will.
Yeah, the Wills make the merge. Well,
they get close.
We were
to winning.
We were a will away, an episode away from both Wills making the finale.
That's a good point. Adam Heinrichs, do you think Adam's going to try to force a 3-3 tie with Jay and Brett? We kind of talked about this. Probably not super likely.
He's got to win immunity. That's a good point. Or if he can convince Hannah or convince that move with Hannah would be so cool. If Hannah convinces Ken and David to vote Adam, and then Adam, Brett, and Jay vote Hannah, they become safe, and then Jay has immunity. I mean, why would Brett buy into it? I guess Brett would buy into it or else it's you going home 100%. So you could get Brett on board for that. Oof, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be exciting. Brooke, I'm for Hannah. I feel like she's done as much work as the front runners, but isn't as messy and does it on the DL. P.S.
I agree.
And then she says, P.S. there's a snow emergency in Michigan, and tomorrow's a snow day. That's why I'm able to stay up and watch this. Because we have not heard from Brooke since, episode 1. She's a big commenter. We haven't heard from her in a while.
Oh, well, good for the snow.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I love snow emergencies. But you agree that Hannah's...
I do agree. I think Hannah's playing this stuff. I don't think... I mean, it's tough. It's like as much. We don't know everything each of these players has done. Have we seen more of Jay and Adam and David? Yeah. But I think Hannah, you look at Hannah, she's always been involved in these votes. She's been very observant. She's made correct observations. There's a lot of little things kind of sprinkled in that Hannah's done really nicely. Mm-hmm. So even at the merge, I think since the merge, she's really picked up. So I would give Hannah more credit than I think other people are giving her, yeah.
Okay. Adam Heinrichs, have you guys rewatched the premiere of this season? I've noticed that every winner minus Tina had a part in the premiere. I have not, but I'm definitely going to rewatch this season during the off season. Definitely.
Yeah.
Because I want to see this.
I think I have seen the premiere twice already. I watch a lot of the episodes twice before we go. I try to catch the East Coast, then I'll kind of have on the live 8 p.m. one in the background while Phil has to watch that version. Yeah. So sometimes I forget.
Yeah. Brooke, yeah, you woohoo! You are now an official backer of Get Filmable on iTunes. Thank you. Thanks for the support for watching us the whole time. Adam Heinrichs, who do you think will have the David Murphy, Eric Sardona, Sue Hawk speech? We already kind of talked about that. Probably Jessica, maybe Chris. And Adam Heinrichs, hypothetically, if the jury removal vote came back, who would each of the final 6 choose? Man, the only one I know for sure is Adam would get rid of Taylor. I think.
Yeah, unless he's thinking like you are and that Jay can convince him at Ponderosa. If I'm David, someone like Michelle or Taylor.
Yeah. If I'm Jay, I'm getting rid of Jessica or Ken if he's there.
Yeah, Jessica, Ken. It's pretty much if you're a millennial, you want to get rid of a Gen Xer, and if you're Gen Xer, you want to get rid of a millennial.
Yeah.
Who would Adam get rid of?
I think you get rid of Taylor.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's all you, man. My throat's...
Oh, that's Twitter.
You got this.
Is that Twitter's gone?
Yeah.
All right. Let's roll through it. Wow, we have 76 on our recap. These are all new, right?
They're all new. I mean, I don't know if you want to do the ones that are relevant to what we're talking about. I don't know, because we're already at an hour and 20 minutes.
Well, some of these are... Yeah. We'll roll through these. Hannah made the right decision. That's one. Anthony Beam. I'm a big Hannah fan, but Adam was my preseason winner pick. The only other time my preseason winner pick was Jeremy, but I still love Hannah and want to see her play again. Smooth Evan. Am I the only one who thinks Adam made a mistake by voting Sunday out? And then someone wrote, yes, and Hannah, made a mistake as well. Could Adam have voted out Sunday last episode? I don't think he really could have, because he would have needed Jay's vote to do that. And then if you need Jay's vote,
he did vote out Sunday last episode.
Wait. By voting out Sunday, am I the only one who thinks Adam? Sorry, if you wanted to vote David, I think that's what they were.
Yeah, that's what you mean. Okay.
If you wanted to vote David, then you need to get Jay's vote, and if you need Jay's vote, you have to talk to him, and you have to talk about who you want to get off. Then he's not going to play his idol.
Yeah,
I think that was priority number one, was getting rid of Jay's idol. And Hannah and Ken weren't on board at all. He tried getting David out and the idol. It didn't work. I think he would rather take the idol out.
So everybody's on a level playing field.
Yeah. Idols can mess things up. Nippy Ippen. Really appreciate the podcast. Keep up the good work. For this reason, I'll be pledging $20. Great. Thank you, Nippy Ippen. Love it. Ask some Catchem. Adam, MVP. Will, LVP. Yeah, we didn't do MVP and LVP. But Will can't be the LVP because he got voted out. So it's a tough one. We have Matsus.
You got this.
Why Sunday had 0 professionals? That was rude. It was rude that Sunday didn't enough time. It was because it was a double boot episode. We got a long comment from Austin here. Let me see if I can just quickly challenge for the next podcast. If you guys can call what will happen and make it your most likely scenario in the next podcast, I'll donate $30 on the cause. Both of you only get one pick, so make it wisely.
He wants.
I don't know. Do we get one pick
final three? That's what he said. Just in the next podcast, say, Austin, this is my scenario. Then lay it out. You don't have to choose a winner. Just the boots in the final three.
Oh, boots in the final three. Okay, I'm gonna hedge here. So sticking with Jay as my winner pick the whole season, but I'm gonna hedge just for Austin because I want to get the $30 donation so we can get on. Say the final three is gonna be Ken, David, and Hannah. That's the final three. And then Adam's going to get 4th place. And then this is where I'm going to trip up. I'll go Jay at 6, Brett at 5. But that could be flip-flopped, and I'll be one off if, that happens. But now I'm playing both sides.
I'll say Brett goes 6. Adam goes 5. David goes 4. Final 3 is Jay, Ken, and Hannah.
All right, how about you take mine and I take that one then?
No, I like mine.
Because that's where I kind of think it's going also, closer to yours. But I, playing the game. Strategy. Austin, I'll give you a nod, Will. I didn't call you crazy. Snowball had a better chance in hell. David isn't making that choice. I don't know what he's talking. I'm sorry. I'm not as good as comments as Phil, but there's a lot going on here. Phil and Will Survivor Player of the Year vote goes to Adam. We did talk about that briefly, that there's no fan award, so maybe we should do our own. And I think Adam would win here for sure. Everyone likes Adam over here. We have PKE. As much as he annoyed me, I do feel bad for Will. In the same way Jeff makes everything about Millennial versus Gen X, I feel like Will was typecast in the edit to be overeager and borderline obnoxious about the age thing. 2 seconds in the episode, Jeff puts in a graduation reference. I feel bad that this was essentially the only dimension we got to see for him. As far as Sunny go, my heart aches for her. This kind of gets long, but you can check out. That was pretty well said with Will.
He wants more moms like Cass who break out of their shell.
Gotcha. Oh, so you read these before?
Oh, I'm looking at them. I'm looking at them as you go. Okay. I'm judging you to see how good you are. This is an audition to see if I'm allowed to lose my voice ever again.
Yeah, I think you will read the entire. I don't need to read these paragraphs. You know what I mean? Not a big paragraph guy.
Will can't read paragraphs. That's the problem.
I can't. It just takes up too much time. And it's like, if you want to read the comments, you can read them. I like the questions and the quick jabs. We have Brian. I am coming around to Jay. Still not my favorite, but he's now my 4th behind Adam, David, and Ken. And the final 6, he's your 4th. So is that really coming around? But Will, you being so cocky makes me want him not to win. There we go. The scene with Adam and Jay was one of the best emotional beats of the season. I agree. Honestly, the Jay-Adam relationship is remarkable. That secret scene with Jay just adds another layer to that. We have Brian again. Fabio, ? Haha, let's not mention that crap season. It's not a great season, but Fabio, I think he's such an interesting, unique winner. Watching it again, knowing Fabio wins, does make that season pretty entertaining on a rewatch, because it is that really fool a lot of people. Ben Hudson, Hannah might actually win. Bear with me. The players seem so determined to not let Jay or David win, so maybe we are about to see a stubborn jury, not bitter. They also know how the game works, but its exact understanding of the game might see them to refuse to pick the obvious winner. Hannah's a perfect mix of good social strategic game and not over the top. Why does she not deserve to win? So that's an interesting point where these people have had it in their minds this whole time not to let Jay or David wins. What if they're up there at the final three and they still are like in game mode in that mindset and they're like, I'm not going to vote for them because I was against them before? Do you think there's any chance of that happening? Not even bitterness. It's more like you've just been conditioned to it. That's pretty interesting.
I don't think
so either.
I think that they're more or less just like, okay, we respect them. They made it this far and they shouldn't have.
Right.
We respect it.
And maybe it's like if everyone voted the day they were voted out, there might be more of that, but everyone's kind of had time to think back on it and chill, and it will be, a whole tribal council dedicated to asking questions and things like that. So they'll be out of the game.
Which is why you should read the second part of that comment.
Oh, I was about to. Also, Jeff said something about changing the jury system to make it more fair in season 34, so maybe it's due to a strange winner for Millennials versus Gen X. He said that? How is it unfair? I don't understand. Maybe this was after Co-Wrong, and a lot of people thought Aubrey should win, and Jeff, and I don't know, Game Changers was kind of coming out around Co-Wrong. Was that a response to Michelle's win? Because any winner we get here seems to be pretty good, unless it's Kay.
I just know Jeff's been saying for a while that they probably should mix up the Ponderosa thing, but they can't. I mean, they have to do it this way. Otherwise, you're literally like putting people in jail cells so they can't talk to each other.
That's the main thing, right? It's the Ponderosa. Yeah. That's the issue.
Because they're all hanging out and they all find out what actually happened afterwards. And then it's so much easier to look at things with a fresh perspective or to be a little more bitter and biased from hearing what everybody else is saying.
Yeah. I mean, did we have this? Shouldn't we have had that same problem in like Africa or in, Palau? I mean, don't these?
Well, I mean,
that's
Africa
been a problem
and Palau
forever.
had pretty obvious winners, though. Bad
It's
examples,
true.
Will. Bad examples.
I'm just talking. I mean, I'm mainly saying this happens every season, but maybe they're obvious winners because they all got together. Maybe Tom and Katie were neck and neck, but Ponderosa gave Tom the edge because people found out something Katie did.
Like, wasn't good at Survivor?
That's part of it. I'm just saying you can't look at a blowout and say that's not a good example. I think those are maybe blowouts, but
I think for the most part, it came around right after Samoa. I think Jeff started talking about it. To be honest, I think he really did.
Yeah, yeah. Let's give America a vote, huh?
Yeah. Exactly.
Jake Conley, wouldn't it be crazy if David, Jay, and Adam made a final three alliance and whichever one wins. That would be cool. I just don't think that's going to happen. Not with Adam. Adam wants to get David and Jay out, and that's his only goal. It would be fun, though, to see, like, all right, let's just do it. But why? Why, when you can increase your chance of getting $1 million, not going to happen. Gamer Girl, MVP Adam, no explanation needed. LVP Hannah, because the Sunday vote was a little too soon, in my opinion. So Gamer Girl was on my side of that debate. And it didn't make sense at this point. I'd wait till 6 or 5 to vote her out, get one of the threats out first. Thank you, Gamer Girl. Also, Phil, make sure to actually tally up the MVP and LVP votes this time. Just reminding you. Also, Will, I'm on your side of the argument. Thank you. Yeah, you didn't tally up the votes, but I'm so far ahead, I'm so far down in fantasy.
Yeah, I beat
so far
you
ahead in the other things.
I'm winning 136 to 109.
Yeah, so I mean, MVP is Adam, I think, especially,
and I think LVP was Hannah from how many there are. I kind of skimmed it, and that's what I got.
Yeah, we have Larry Parr. If Hannah is playing to win, I think it was a terrible move. If her goal is to get 3rd or 2nd place, it was a great move. I think she thinks she can't win and just wants to be in final, and Sunday could have took her place. I've watched the Hannah Secret Team where she's like talking about her jury speech and how she thinks she's done the things necessary to win. That's why I said it was such a bad move. So we're getting a lot of people on my side here, Phil. And I'm not just picking out the comments. I'm reading all of them. Loki. I think this is one of the best seasons, including Heroes or Villains, Micronesia, Pearl Islands, and Cagayan. I agree. It'd be interesting to see how it plays out. Loken, how awesome are the challenge creators? 33 seasons and still coming up with this kind of great shit. I completely agree. The challenges last episode were like amazing. That time thing was so cool. I love that. Wow, we have a lot from Loken, but they're all short. See, this is better than a paragraph. Jess said all the worthy winners in the preview, so does that mean Brett gets booted first? All worthy winners.
I think Jeff honestly believes all 6 of them are worthy winners, though.
I think Jeff's being real when he says that, and because he doesn't say. I don't think he's ever said that before.
Yeah, like I think he thinks Brett is a worthy winner because all he's seen from Brett out there so far is Brett playing insanely hard at tribal councils.
Yeah, and Brett's kind of like he's a fun guy, and I think people like the guy. He's a good dude, as Jay would say. He's a good dude. He's a warrior. Yeah, Ken though. Still, I don't think he's a worthy winner. Not for me. Loki, no doubt about it. Jay will win. Everyone talked positively about him and showed him saying, "I knew." They then showed him saying, "I knew I didn't need to play it." Yeah, the idle thing you can't really look at edit wise that he played or didn't play it. They have to include that, so I can't really grab anything from there. And then he says, "Please rank Mike, Colby, Tom, and Jay." We don't want to toss Jay in there. I guess Colby didn't win. I don't know. Do you want to rank those for Phil?
Yeah, it's too early. Here. But I mean, from right now, Mike's the worst. And after this season, Mike will still be the worst. I know he won, but in my opinion, he didn't play that good of a game. And in terms of even character, I'm not a big Mike fan. Mike's good. Mike was fine. Mike was good on that season. I want to see Mike play a different season.
Isn't Mike playing season 34?
No.
He's not.
No, right? I don't think so.
I thought he was.
Is he? I don't think so.
I don't know. For some reason, I thought he was. Anyway, I was thinking, like, Mike, you know what? It'd be interesting to see him play again and not be an underdog that goes and wins all the challenges. And, like, let's see what he can do. He can improve. If he goes out and has, like, a good strategic game, he can improve his season 30 win. It's crazy as that sounds. I mean, you look at JT's reputation after Heroes vs. Villains, and it's like his win was incredible, and people forget it. But people really got on him for that letter to Russell. Brendan McCarthy, Jay wasting his idol hurts. He had to play it, but I don't like his chance in the finale. If it finally goes the way we all want, top 3 season. I think that's a Jay fan right there. Mm-hmm. Another amazing podcast, though. Thank you. That's from Brendan McCarthy. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Michael Feeney. Michael Feeney is in a position to win the boot list. It's going to be close. Survivor Brooklyn is a game show on YouTube with this is interesting. With Andrea from season 22, Sophie from season 33, and Zeke from this season. We don't want to really get into that. You can read the comments if you want. Gamer Girl, I think the reward skill is done. They stopped doing fan favorite because Sprint stopped sponsoring them, and she thinks Adam would win. I think they could still do the reward or the fan favorite. They don't need Sprint. They could just find another sponsor.
Well, I mean, but Sprint was putting the money up for it. That's why they don't do it.
Yeah, you don't think there's another company that has $100,000 to have their name plastered?
I mean, they probably do, but it depends on what the company is. I think because it's CBS and because it's such a long-running show, they don't just want to take anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I think they want it to be like
that's true.
A big, name.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Fan favorite seems, I don't know, they had it for a while, so. CVB, just realized this episode Jay's not nearly as tall as I assumed. The fact he looks about Jeff's height, 5'9", 5'10", makes me wonder if they purposely cast him to be the Malcolm Joe Ozzy of the season. Now I kind of feel like it was Taylor who was cast for that role, but it didn't work out. I don't think they cast much on height.
I don't think so either. I feel like height is like the last thing they're looking at.
Yeah, I mean, we had a midget on One World? Leaf?
One World, yeah, Leaf was on One World. Little person.
And maybe he got cast because of his height because he didn't bring much else.
Yeah, I don't know why Leaf got cast. I don't know why most of that cast got cast.
Yeah, exactly. That whole cast was lame. This is Gamer Girl. My thought on this podcast, this is the fight that never ends. At least that fight was more tolerable than the entirety of your top 20 worst players to make a finale fight. Then Giovanni says, Gamer Girl, you didn't like that podcast. That was one of the more entertaining ones. Then Gamer Girl says that podcast made her angry. So Loki, doesn't David doing fake immunity idol mean that he will be in trouble and probably gets voted out? One's fake idol has ever worked except Yowman Bob's to some degree. We haven't talked about the fake idol yet, and I know we're going on here, hour and a half, but it's the finale. We're predicting everything. Let's talk about it. Why does David do this? I think Loki makes a good point. That definitely is asking you. It's definitely asking for votes.
It is. I think he's paranoid that Hannah and Adam might flip, so he starts making it up. Maybe Jay wins, and he knows he's the biggest target, so he starts getting paranoid. He starts making a fake idol, knowing he's the next biggest target, and then he could also be thinking that's a good way to scare the crap out of Hannah because Hannah's easy to scare. Adam will think about it a little more. Hannah will be like, "Oh no."
Yeah, I don't. It's like trying to think what's really gonna change. But Adam wants to vote you out already. Hannah's on the fence. I guess people are like, "Well, you're wasting your vote if you vote for David," but you have to flush it out. Last time you can play, it's final 5, and that means what? You're just gonna let David walk to final 4. Because you're starting at 6 here in this finale, you can push votes. You have enough people that can push votes onto David. I think T-Rex was talking about a 2-2-2. That's certainly a possibility, or pulling a 3-2-1. Mm-hmm. I don't know. When do you think this is? Do you think this is right at 6?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if that's going to be right away. I think it's probably most of the stuff we saw is from right away with the players because they don't want to spoil who goes further.
Exactly.
So I think this will be at 6, but that's why I'm also thinking that it might he wasn't Sunday went, and I guess he knew they could turn on me if they want to. So maybe he's saying to himself, I'm going to make a fake idol so that they can't turn on me now because they're thinking about it. They got rid of the idol from Jay, and now they can gun for me if they want to, if Jay wins.
Yeah. It'll be definitely interesting. I'm going to go back to Austin, and I predicted my first 3 boots in the final 3. I'm going to switch Jay and David back because now you have me thinking Jay is going to win that first immunity. So we'll go Brett, then it will go Jay, then it will go Adam with a Ken, David, Hannah final 3. That's only for Austin's bet. That's not my real prediction. I think Jay's winning. Let's keep moving along here. Gamer Girl, I can only put in 1 comment as a comment curator. Okay, take that back. I don't want the job anymore. That's going to be a rule for everybody. It's not just going to be the comment curator that gets 1 comment. It's going to be for everybody.
Then you're going to get a lot of paragraphs, Will.
It's very true. We're going to have a no paragraph rule. We're going to have 1 comment only. I mean, eventually.
We're going to have so many rules, nobody's going to watch us.
And this is what happens when you read every comment. Your podcast become too long. So we have to figure it out. Maybe if someone wants to comment ideas to manage the amount of comments we're getting. I think 1 per person is great. I think it's a good rule. You get 250 characters. You get a little bit more than a tweet. Twist. So you get 2 tweets. How about that? 2 tweets or 1 YouTube comment. Twisty Pops. I'm going to guess an Adam, Ken, Brett final 3. Now this is the first we're hearing of Brett final 3. So Adam obviously wins in this scenario. My dream final 3 is Adam, Jay, and David, or Jay, Adam, and Hannah. Hannah's my winner pick, and I think there is a tiny possibility for her to win. But I'm thinking it's probably going to be Adam. I really don't. Like I said, I don't see Adam mainly because of his edit, not because of his actual position in the game. It'd be crazy though if Adam wins. I'll be shocked.
Yeah,
and I'll be happy too. I'll be happy and I'll be shocked. It was like Michelle. I wasn't completely floored, but it was as it was building, it was so exciting to see Aubrey kind of fall apart at Final Tribal Council. If something like that happens and Adam comes out, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Kyle Stone. I'm going to be disappointed with this finale if it's a predictable David, Ken, Hannah final 3. I still wouldn't be disappointed in that case. It definitely wouldn't be as satisfying if that's the way it goes down. I'm sure it'd be satisfying to some people. David, has had a pretty good story, but I'd rather see something a little bit more unpredictable too. Christopher Doucette, David got through this episode because of his relationships. He says that very specifically at Tribal Council, relationships are more important at the end game than the beginning. That is 100% true. Then goes on to say, we also see him come up with the eventual plan of avoiding Jay's idol play by targeting Brett, which later becomes Sunday. He did plenty. Yeah, I kind of gave him a little bit of a knock early. I'm like, what did David do? There's a lot of other people, but then I said his relationships. I still think, though, for that being the penultimate episode of this season, if David were to win, it's like he wasn't that present overall in that episode. It was a lot of he would just say a lot of things that he was just explaining what needed to be explained. Like, he just narrating. It wasn't much insight, you know?
Yeah, no, I kind of agree. And I think the editors have made us all believe that it's going to be David versus Hannah versus Ken in that final three. Like, I think that's kind of what we're being led to believe. Like, if you're like a huge fan. And I wouldn't be surprised if they turn one on us. And that's why I said for Austin, I said Jay makes the final three with Hannah and Ken, and David gets fourth. But I don't know.
Yeah, no, and I think lately also, I mean, Adam has been way bigger the last two episodes. He's really developed, and then Jay's kind of he had the negative knocks early, but since then has kind of picked up. So I mean, the editors are taking this like they're messing with this edit, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I just want to point out too, in his question and answer thing with Dalton Ross after last episode, Jeff Probst, his tease for the week was one of our best, huge story turns, great competition, emotions, should be a great reunion as well. Obviously, I love this season, hate to see it come to an end. So are we going to get a huge story turn? Does that mean that something cool is like actually going to happen? Like, is that?
I hope so. And man, Jay and Adam's relationship, I mean, you could probably make a case it's the best relationship on the actual show, like the canon, like in the actual TV episodes that we've ever seen on Survivor. Who would be better?
Who would be better than what? Sorry, I lost you for a sec. What?
Jay and Adam's relationship, just in the minutes of the television show. What relationship tops that in 33 seasons?
In 33 seasons. Elizabeth and Roger.
I mean, I think I was too young to feel emotion back then.
Watch it again.
Or other, is it better than what we've seen?
No, I think I connect with this one more, but that one's still a really great relationship. Right. I'm just saying, like, if you're looking at like ones that can compete.
So I don't know. So if there's a lot of emotional stuff going on, then maybe that is hinting more towards Jay winning or Adam winning.
Yeah.
Than David, because David's he's had a nice story, but it hasn't been that emotional. I mean, he's cried a fair amount, but it's not. I mean, when you hear emotional on this season, I think you're thinking more along the lines of Adam and Jay. We have Neon Cat. I think Hannah made an okay move. I think she may have said Sunday was a goat and may take someone's spot in the final three. I think although she did state that she likes David, and that was most likely not the reason why she wanted to switch the vote on Sunday. Also, what Phil said was spot on.
That's right.
Hey, I think more people are leaning my way in these comments.
I don't know.
So far. Fahim Khan, does anyone else think that going on immunity runs all the way to the finale is the biggest move? Phil and Will don't seem to consider it a big move at all in reference to Mike and Fabio winning. So I don't think winning an immunity is a big move because there's no choice in immunity, right? Like, if I go to a immunity challenge, I'm going to try to win.
It's pretty.
That's what you're supposed to do. It's clutch. Oh, it's huge. And I'm not saying we should discredit it, but it's not really a move. I think a move is a decision where it's like, I'm going to take a stance. I'm going to do this. I'm going to give away my idol. I'm going to play my idol on somebody else. I'm going to try to pull over this vote. I'm going to lie to this person and tell them that they're being targeted. That's a move where you have to take a risk and decide something. Whereas a challenge, it's like, yeah, of course they're going to try to win the challenge. And if you do, that's great. And Survivor is a physical game, and challenges are extremely important. But I just wouldn't call it a move. It's not a move. It's a challenge victory.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't think it's a move. I still think you can win immunities and still play a great game.
Yeah. You can, like Fabio, right?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. Keep going, dude. It's too late to make Fabio jokes.
Okay. That disappoints me. It's Jeff, 96. What I want to happen, Adam versus Jay versus Brett. Adam wins 4-3-3. Or Jay versus Hannah versus Brett. Jay wins 4-3-3. Both scenarios, Brett gets Chris, Zeke, and Sunday. Jay gets Taylor, Michelle, and Will. In the first scenario, Adam gets we can read more into that. If you want to go through all these, jury votes. Gamer Girl, someone in one of my Survivor Facebook groups just had an awesome theory about what the legacy advantage is. Ken will be the only person able to vote at the final 6 or final 5 tribal councils. What do you guys think of that?
No.
Too overpowered.
That would be insane.
That would be ridiculous. Flame Badger. I agree with Will. That was a dumb move for Hannah. It's another one. That's like 4 or 5. You have like 1.
Because like everybody else is just doing it live. They just know they're right.
David. No. MVP David. Adam was good, but I think he's going back to his merge episode. LVP Brett ? Or Hannah. Logan Gelfand. They should have a Millennials vs. Gen X 2 with the same cast. That's how good I think this cast is. That's funny. It's a great cast. Christopher Doucette. Read Will like a book from as he's looking to follow up his big move by voting him out. He also got Ken, Hannah, and Adam to go along with his plan to play to avoid Jay's idol instead of going with Adam's plan. That's true. He did get Ken and Hannah to stay with him, even though Adam made some good points. LVP Adam should have taken David out in the first episode. I don't think he should have. We went over that if you want to check out that. Bush Bear, what final group is better? This one, Micronesia, or Heroes vs. Villains? Also, Phil, I love you so much. You are such a daddy. I think this might be the best final group. I mean, of course, it depends how it plays out. Micronesia was very fun. Heroes vs. Villains.
Not a great final 5.
I mean, I don't think so. It wasn't as, wasn't Rupert in the final 5? And it was or Colby or something?
No, the final 6 was Sandra, Parvati, Russell, Jerry.
Parv.
I said Parvati. Jerry, and then Colby and Rupert. That was the final 6. It's not a great final 6.
Yeah.
In fact, that whole merge.
I don't know. Here's for Villains up there. This is pretty close. Pretty close.
For first timers, this is insane because
exactly,
with that you knew who all of them were. You already have your pre-done favorites. Rupert was not the same Rupert. Colby was not the same Colby.
Exactly. And then we had, Micronesia, Bush Bear mentions, and that's another one where it was heavily dominated by returnees. Suri, Amanda, and Parv are right there. And,
that one does help, though, that it's Eric and Natalie are the other 2.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. Jeff Steinberg, MVP Adam, LVP Hannah. That's kind of the consensus. We'll just call it right now. Yeah. Adam's MVP, Hannah's MVP. MKW Hacker 100. I'm starting to lose my voice now, Phil. Jeez. Yeah, maybe you're losing your voice because of all the comments you've been reading this entire season.
Yeah.
Adam and Jay has had the most developed relationship possibly in Survivor history. I really hope one of them wins. Well, there we go. We asked the question and he answers 3 days ago. Jeff Steinberg, I love when you go into a finale of 4 people who can win. Adam can win because he goes into all the reasons why he thinks they can win. But I agree with you there, Jeff. We're both on board. Christopher Doucette, it's not all shocking to see you guys claim David had no role in this episode, considering who your favorites are. But let's be real, all Hannah and Adam did on that second vote was not flip on David, and Adam got Jay to flush his idol, which was great. Yeah, we gave Adam a lot of credit for that. But Adam kept insisting one of Jay or David had to go home, and his plan failed. And who had the successful plan, the plan that involved not voting Jay? And yeah, I mean, I see why. And we didn't give him no credit. We just thought he wasn't. I'll let you go.
Here's what I want to say about David. David's in such a good position that he's almost playing the defensive game now. So he doesn't have to be that visible and all that stuff. And yeah, we're not giving him that much credit, but if you look at it, in reality, he didn't do all that much because he's already in such a great spot. He doesn't have to. He's playing defense. He's doing what Aris did, where it was, I'm in control of this alliance, and I'm making sure that they don't vote for me. And every time something comes up, he's very good at making sure he's not the one who goes home. He's done it every time. So yeah, we're not going to give him as much credit because he doesn't have to make the huge move right now.
Right. And we did give him more credit than we initially in that podcast. We kind of started saying, or at least me, I was like, he didn't do all that much, and then it just got back to give him credit. Okay. Connor Walsh, David makes a fake idol next episode. We talked about that. We have Therangeru. I don't know. You guys think this jury will compete with All Stars for most bitter jury? Just kidding. Haha, but do you guys think this will be the most balanced and fair jury we've had? It's so hard. The juries, we went through the votes. It's so tough. What do you guys think is the best send-off episode ever? I'd say Coach, that was too hilarious. I don't know what send-off episode means. I don't know. Maybe we'll get that later. Yeah, Drew's. That was probably the best episode of Samuel Lusser. That was an amazing episode. Legacy advantage from Elite Brothers. We've talked a lot. We think it's going to be the immunity advantage until something else comes up. I've yet to hear something that's like very compelling where I'm like, it's not an immunity challenge advantage. This is Elite Brothers again. If Jay makes final tribal, he's got a guaranteed win. That's what we kind of worked out when we went jury by jury member. Look at all these jury members: Michelle, Taylor, Will, Sunday, maybe even Chris or Adam. Joseph, Ezekiel. I'm surprised at what a threat everyone is calling David. Have we learned nothing from Korong? The only person on this jury I can see voting for him to win is Jessica. I don't feel that the other players will want him to win this game. I can see him making it to the end and only getting 1 or 2 votes. Personally think Adam and Hannah can beat him. What do you think about that? Do you think we're like, is David an Aubrey where it's like we think he's the strategic guy, but no one really respects him or cares? I don't know. We've heard so many people call David a threat that I think they give him credit.
I think they are giving him credit, and I think they all actually like enjoy his story and like are proud of him. Like I think that's true.
Yeah, that whole thing where he wanted to sit out the challenge, like people respect this guy.
Yeah.
Sir Squiddington. I wonder if Jay and Brett will be mad at Adam. They easily could have voted out David after already having flushed Jay's idol. Win-win for most still in the game. A twist to the finale would be if David and Jay both unite. Maybe it happens if Jay wins. I don't know. I don't see Jay and David uniting. They're on the exact opposites. But if Hannah had that whole goat thought, maybe they're like, man, we got to team up and we're the threats. I don't know. Could you see that?
Yeah. No, I could, but I don't think Jay and David do it. Like I see the reasoning, but I don't think they do it.
Gotcha. I'm gonna go with 1 comment per person now, just because we have so many, and we've been going on for a while. So starting now, if there's doubles, CVB. Reason I think David may not win. Rewatch episode 1, especially the first few minutes where they're on a boat. The way the Millennials talk is them taking pride in their generation, while the Gen X are more shunful of the Millennials and their confessionals. If you watch the preview for the season, however, or many of the same confessionals were used, you'll find the Millennials are just as shunful as the Gen X, but they edit that part out. And they're saying the Millennials or CVB saying Millennials are in a better light. So I don't know. That would fit with the J win. Yeah. Getting My Belly 12. What was your guys' favorite episode this season? Thanks to the recap. Really rooting for Jay. Lots of Jay love tonight. Favorite moment of the season. I think the Michaela reaction.
They said favorite episode.
Oh, favorite episode.
I think the 2-hour thing was the best part.
I think the family visit for me. I had such a blast watching that episode. That was awesome. Some more MVP votes. We said with their Langelou, after seeing the season just so much, I love a brand new cast. That's great. It's kind of annoying. We had returnees 31, now we're going to returnees in 34. Dennis O'Connell. Sorry, you only get 1, Dennis. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed your weekend. I was just wondering.
Don't do that one. Don't do that one. Do the second one.
Okay. God, you should be the curator.
I pretty much am.
That's what should happen. Final 3s were made because almost all finals 2 sucked. Imagine players like Rob, Lex, Ian, Fair, Terry, and Rafe got to prove their case. I bet they all would have won their season. That's exactly why they made it a final 3. Yeah, the person getting 3rd place was always a pretty solid player.
Yeah.
Gamer Girl, I'm sorry. Giovanni timed the argument. It was 11 minutes long about. If you want to listen to our Sunday Hannah debate thing. Bones J. What up, bros? Appreciate the love. Will, you guys are the best. Great day of football and excited to hear the cast. Like I've been saying, Jay's going to win, but I do think there's a chance he could get boned by the legacy advantage since he's been getting boned all season long. I don't think the legacy advantage, I mean, it would rob an immunity from him, I guess, but I don't know. Sometimes the advantages aren't even that good. Like they sound great and then they play out. It's like, oh, we didn't even need that. I mean, could you imagine this big advantage that's been found in the game since day 1 ends up having like no impact? Rob, that could be likely.
Could be very well happen.
Yeah, we have Anju Changavi. I really want a Jay, David, Adam final 3, but I know that won't happen. Also, you guys know what happens if you get the finale and you're deadlocked after 2 votes. Adam Klein for the win. Yeah, we don't know what happens in a tie. I think the 2 people who would tie, the 3rd person that would cast a vote, that's probably the first thing they do. So, and they would take care of that in Fiji on the island. Sports. Haha, Will, how about those Warriors lost 4 games already and they have 4 of the best 9 players in the NBA? All right, well, that's not about Survivor. I think that a David win is almost too predictable. I hope Jay, Adam, and Ken or Hannah are final 3. Yeah, I mean, at this point, it seems like we got Aubrey last year, and now we have David, who could be an Aubrey, and then we have like the underdogs and Adam and Hannah and Jay. And it's amazing how it's been set up. We really don't know where to go. I'm going to refresh quickly. It is the finale, so I do want to, try to get.
Yeah. Dylan Peddle, the reunion episode will be the 500th episode of the show. That's a rather cool fact. Anand Shingavi, I think that Jay and Adam might ride it out to the end. Could take a GOAT like Ken. David might go earlier, take it all the way, but I have no clue. Also just speculation theory. David, Adam, and his bro on Blood vs. Water 3. That could happen. Never count that out. Adam Heinrichs, did you guys see The Worlds Apart and Horrific Second Chances covers? I find it odd they did not use the Second Chance cast photos, instead used their cast photos from the original seasons. Yes, I saw that. Those 2 seasons have been released, so you can watch those. Will, do you want to take it back?
That's
I
interesting.
just had them loaded.
No, I tried loading it and then I couldn't hear you, so I canceled the page because I thought you had them up.
Oh, well, I think there's only like 2 more. Yeah, there's 2 more. And we'll read one of them. Molly O'Malia, problem with podcasts like this, the podcasters have favorites in their minds and they have this fantasy that makes their view of the game revolve around that. So they are biased and unreliable. Precisely like when I called Michelle winning last year.
Yeah. I mean, we're all going to be biased and we have our favorites. But, I mean, look, if I was completely and totally biased, I would be sitting here saying Adam has a great chance to win. There are a lot of reasons from Adam's edit that I think it makes it a really big long shot, even though, Adam's been a really great friend to us. He's tweeted out our podcast. He's participated in our games. He donated to the Kickstarter. And I'm sitting here saying, sorry, Adam, I really don't think it's that good. There's not a good shot of it. So, I picked Jay preseason. I'm going to stick with it, but it's not like absurd bias. At least I don't think so.
I mean, we back it up. That's what I kept saying last week. We back it up. We're not just making it up. There's a reason why we say, we just did a 2-hour podcast. We didn't just sit here and say Adam wins, X out.
Or Jay wins. Yeah. Oh, it's good stuff. It's fun. Is that it? Is that all the comments?
That's it, man. I can go rest my voice for 3 days and hopefully I don't sound like a monster.
I need to rest my voice now. It's like I caught your voice loss by reading so many comments. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know it's late on both coasts at this point.
Yeah.
Did we hit the Kickstarter during this episode, right?
We did.
That's a big announcement. Thanks to everybody. We should read the names if we can load them of the people who donated this episode.
There were like 2 more who donated. I think it was just one. There was like one big one that just came through.
We have Cavan or Caven. Thank you. Amazing. We'll leave it up there.
Wherever you are, reach out to us.
That's right.
What your YouTube name is.
Yeah. Everything that we already hit it. If people want to keep donating, we're going to put everything towards the podcast. It's not like we're just going to I know Kickstarter, a lot of people think people can just run away with the money. We really would like to make a serious website that Phil doesn't have to design and we can actually pay someone to do it. That would be actually ideal. Thanks so much. Bootless, anything else, Phil? It's been a long one.
No, let's see everybody on Wednesday after 3 hours of Survivor when we'll have a much shorter podcast. So.